Call our March 20th Jackson County Commission meeting and work session to order. Have our roll call.
District 1, Mr. Duffy.
Present.
District 2, Mr. Venable.
Present.
District 3, Ms. Gilbert.
Present.
And District 4, Mr. Sisk.
Present.
Okay. We have a quorum present. We have our invocation by Mr. Porter and our pledge by Ms. Gilbert.
Lord God, our Father, we're so thankful to be here today. We're thankful for those that are here to represent us and represent our best interest. We pray that you'll give them wisdom and discernment, guidance and compassion as they make decisions that affect the citizens of Jackson County. God, we're thankful for the beauty of our county, the great weather we have now. So God, we're thankful for all our blessings. We pray you'll continue to watch over us and guide us. Be with us and be with our servicemen and women as they protect our liberty and our safety. Watch over them and their families. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item is the approval of the agenda. We have one item under the meeting to vote on, and then about 6 items for discussion under the work session. Do we have any changes before we proceed? Have a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Make a motion.
Motion, we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say no. And no one signed up to speak this evening. So the first item is regarding the county park building rental proposal. The agreement you have before you, I think I emailed a little bit earlier today. This is for the bait tackle and the rental business that's currently going on. This would be for the renewal that was discussed that he wanted to exercise renewal. This would also give us the opportunity to amend this later in the year if we choose to do something further with that building as has been discussed. So any questions or comments on this before we proceed?
Does Mr. Helms agree with this?
I spoke with him the other day and explained that's what we were working towards, so this will be presented to him.
So you have a copy of it yet?
Not of this, no, this is what we discussed.
This and one, so in 2 months, if they will open a restaurant,
This would allow us to renegotiate with him
Okay.
in a short period of time. You have anything to add, Mr. Porter?
I don't really. It's just a renewal of the existing agreement with the provision that it can be altered, amended.
I think it says at our cost if we do
It
that.
does.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, so we'll entertain a motion to approve the lease agreement renewal.
Make that motion.
Motion, we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The only business item we had, that meeting was continued from last week. So we'll now move into the work session for discussion on these items. The first item is regarding Good Friday. This has been requested to be placed on the agenda for employees to have Good Friday off. We can discuss this, or any questions or comments on this? I think it's a small thing that we can do to benefit the employees when there's limited funds and limited things that we can do. This is a small benefit for them. Any questions or comments? If there's no objection, we'll place that on the agenda next week. The next item is regarding the weather policy, hazardous conditions policy. We did have an employee meeting, I believe it was last week or the week prior, to discuss some items on this. The changes that were requested or kind of brought to our attention are three items. One would be, and I'd ask Mr. Porter if he could amend this to include this. One would be that if the courthouse or county offices are closed, that anybody that is sent home for the entire day would get their full compensation. So if you end up not working because we closed county offices, that you get the full compensation. The other question that came up during the discussion was can sick time be utilized for the liberal leave? There's nothing in our policy that quite states what type of time could be used. I guess the general rule of thumb would be your annual time and your comp time could be used for liberal leave. Are there any suggestions on how to do that? If sick time should be allowed to be used for the liberal leave policy? I think, again, in general, sick time is time is available if you're sick. Annual and comp time is your time that, you do get that out, paid out when you leave. And I think most other places or policies would say that you only use annual or comp time and not sick time. So, in lieu of any recommendations, I would ask that it be placed in there as annual or comp time. If there are any changes to that, we can discuss that next week. And the final thing is an exception. Obviously, when we run our buses, we are not going to operate county public buses in certain areas during things like this. And I'm not sure, Mr. Porter, if we need to allow for some type of exception in those cases where, if we don't run a bus route, that those employees aren't negatively impacted.
You mean if you don't run a bus route?
Even though county offices are open. Okay. Because that is a very different situation, so we are operating, we're carrying citizens around on those public transportation. We want to be safe, and we're going to be more conservative in that decision, I guess, most of the time. Probably following what the schools
Say
decide.
you're probably following.
So,
If
those
you
are
do a certain area, you do a certain area.
right. Those were the three key points that I recall. Do you recall anything else?
That's about it.
Only
24 hour.
What's that?
Within 24
Right, and I think that's included in there. So, any other questions or comments? It was a good meeting, I thought. The employees appreciated understanding what the policy entailed and what we were discussing. Helped dispel some rumors about what we were discussing. So, I think it was, it was very good for the employees. We hope to do more of these type things for different things that we have going on. But I think they appreciated it very much, and we appreciated the input. So if you could make those changes, we'll try to present that next Monday for consideration. Next item is for the WIOA board realignment. This is our workforce, board. I'll let, so not to butcher what's going on with this, I'll let Ms. Sheila Shepard, the Director of EDA, share this with us.
Okay, I appreciate y'all looking at this. So I'm going to pass out a little bit of information about it. In the past, for many, many years, the state of Alabama has had, you have a map in your packet there, it's called the Workforce Investment Act. And these, what this was funding that came through the federal and state, down through the state. And it funded our career centers in each county. And then it provides funds for dislocated workers. Like now we're facing with employees that are going to be laid off at Bellevue. They qualify for extra amount of training. They can go back to college. There's lots of extra things they can get because they're being dislocated out of their job. That funds is in this money. Years ago, it was set up where there was 3 boards. One board was the Mobile County, one board was Birmingham, and the third board governed the other 65 counties. I never really understood that, so we have some new workforce initiatives coming down the line. We have some regional workforce boards where we're getting more local control over funding for community colleges for technical training. So they've decided to bring this workforce board, Workforce Investment Act board, and combine them with our training boards. So what we're going to do now, what the state's proposing is instead of having 3 boards like we had before, we're going to expand it to 7. And the map that you have shows that the board we're in is North Alabama. There's 14 counties across the top of the state. When this is divided up, we'll have a governing board for just North Alabama, and we will have local funding where we will be able to decide where this training goes, where the training funds go, and what best will help employers and employees in our region, instead of someone in Birmingham or somewhere in Montgomery deciding what training we need in our area. It's not gonna cost, anything different, it's just a realignment. But the way this is written as a state law, it has to be signed off by each county commission, and so that's why I'm bringing it to you. I am part of this regional workforce board, and we have some employers locally from our county that are part of this board that will be looking at this and making these decisions. So it's a recommendation from our board, from the EDA, that we approve this, because it will be, in the end, it will help us with our local workers get more funding and more direct funding for the specific jobs in our area. And I've given Mr. Porter a copy of it to look at, and maybe y'all can look at it. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them today. And,
Any questions or comments?
Who fills the board members? Watch the board.
it is through the Governor's Office of Workforce Development. We have some funding through the Department of Commerce now, and through Industrial Development Training through the state of Alabama. Now, the board started out as all volunteers, and it's still mostly all volunteers, and it was mostly economic developers across the region. Now we have 2 industries from every county on the board. They're the plant or training managers. And so they know more about what their needs are than we do. And so we're trying to get this to be more industry driven. Once this is approved, we will also add a few other agencies. There'll be some elected officials, some community colleges, potentially a union leader, because you're going to have the craft trades in there. There'll be a few other added to it, but it'll be at our discretion, what we think fits our region better. Because what fits us is not going to fit Mobile with the maritime training. So that's why they decided to divide it up and make it more specific to our area.
Since we're in 14 counties, and you said there's 2 from the industries or whatever representatives right now from each county, how are they planning on breaking up the rest of the board when you add those? Is it gonna be equal representation for us, I guess is what I'm asking?
It will be most
Or fair.
likely. Some of it will be more maybe our state senators or something like that. It may not be specific to Jackson County, but we will be represented. Yes.
Just didn't want to consummate with
No, that's why we changed this. Initially, we did have it was not equal. So that's why we came back now, and the board of directors is now 2 per county. Period.
Any other questions or comments? Is there any objection to placing this on the agenda for next Monday? You wrote it on? Okay, we'll put it on there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item is regarding fair housing proclamation. This proclamation has to be done for water grants that we are in the process of utilizing. This one in particular for the process at Goose Pond Industrial Park and the water project going on there. Again, this is something that has to be done with each grant as a part of the federal rules and process. We did actually approve this previously for some other grants that we applied for, but for this paperwork needs to be done again, as we understand it. So any question or comment on this?
Says 2016.
What's that?
Says 2016.
Mine says so. We'll get that changed. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Then if there's no objection, we'll place this on the agenda for next week as well. Okay, next item regarding resolution for the ACCA regarding our county administrator. And this is to concur with the fact that he has finished all the requirements for his county administrator certification. Is that correct, Mr. Manning?
Yes, sir.
So congratulations for completing all the necessary requirements for that. And as I understand, this is the last piece of documentation that you need to
They
move forward.
require that at the state board and file it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So any questions or comments on this? I think this is, to do this has taken several classes and conferences and things like that he's had to attend, and I'm sure you've learned a lot through the process over the past 2 years, especially coming from the private industry. So thank you for your patience.
It has been some interesting stuff, for sure. And the list of classes on the second page too, in case you need to see those.
Anything else, Mr. Manning, comments? Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay, if there's no opposition, then we'll place this on the agenda for next Monday as well. And final item regarding a rear loader garbage truck for sanitation. This is, I think, an opportunity that just come up for us recently. There may be a benefit for this with Mr. Robinson.
Yes, sir. Thank you. In your packets there, you'll see a piece of equipment that's become available. And what this is the time of year that we start our community cleanup. We do 22 weekends per summer, which is every little township in Jackson County. The current truck that we have now is a 2001. It's got 285,000 miles on it. So if it was to break down or go down, then we're kind of in a pickle. We don't have anything to back up except for the roll-off. So this this piece of equipment here has become available, and after researching and doing some work on it, I usually don't buy so much used stuff, but this is a really good piece of equipment that would be a good backup for us. Not to mention the price versus what the new one would be. New one, if we had to buy a new one, would be roughly about $165,000 for a new one. So I feel like that if we could make a purchase on this right here, and over the next 4 or 5 years save quite a bit of money by having it. Also, it would act as a backup truck for the truck we have now. In May, we've also added a Sparkle and Shine, which is another 4 weeks that we'll be sending out. At that point, we kind of require 2 trucks to be out there.
Questions or comments on this?
You said you had money in your budget.
Yes, we do. Now, I would have to pull half of it from my equipment and tools, and I'd probably pull the other half from my cash balance.
So we're gonna keep the other truck we got and use this one right here?
Yes, sir,
also?
because the other one we got is so old, if I was to surplus it, to sell it, it wouldn't bring much more than if we run it till it just, and sold it as is then. That way I'd have 2 on the yard. If one tears up, I've got it back up. Yes, sir.
Any other questions or comments? If there's no objection, then we'll place this on the agenda next week as well. Concludes the items for discussion this evening, so we'll move on to our reports. Mr. Manning,
Thank you.
Mr. Campbell,
No, sir, thank you.
Mr. Porter,
No, thank you.
Mr. Robinson,
No, sir.
Mr. Denville.
Next week's meeting will be at 5:30 at High Top Community Center.
Anything else? Mr. Sis,
No, sir.
Ms. Gilbert, Mr. Guthrie.
No, sir.
All right, that concludes the item for our meeting this evening. So with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? All in favor say aye. Opposed say no.
I've got a question for you here, Mr. Hodges, and also Sheila over here. Under the current federal budget plan, workforce development, and let's see, what else is it, the schedule? Regional Commission, the Appalachian Regional Commission is slated to be canceled. How is that going to affect the workforce development? And also grants. You're not sure yet?
The grants that we give now to community colleges for training is not exactly under the Workforce Investment Act. It's a little bit different money. So we're still trying to make sure to keep an eye on that. We don't know yet.
Your workforce board realignment, is that in the current budget year or is that future budget year?
It has to be, it's been approved by the state once each county votes on it. And it will start in the next budget year.
Good, thanks, I appreciate that. But y'all haven't heard anything about the new federal budget plan, how it affects the the Appalachian Regional Commission, which, TARCOG gets grants through that, and so does workforce development. And the reason I ask this, it's already been announced that West Virginia, Kentucky, and parts of Virginia, the coal mining region, has already been, their workforce development plans have been canceled already.
We don't, I don't have anything to do with Appalachian Regional Council, and I
Right.
do not know anything about how that will be affected. We have a meeting coming up next month with our Workforce Investment Board, and we will hopefully learn more then, but right now I don't know yet.
Thanks, I appreciate that.